Chapter 15 Escape. Using all the strength in her head, Roz jumped straight up, high into the air, and landed on a tree branch overhead. The tree shook with the sudden wet of the robot, and then tunk. Two pine cones bounced off Roz, and a moment later, tunk, the same pine cones bounced of the bears below. The bears grunted with annoyance. This gave Roz an idea. The robot's programming stopped her from being violent, but nothing stopped her from being annoying. So Roz plucked pine cones from the nearby branches and lobbed them down at the bears. Tunk. Each pine cone bounced off its target with annoying accuracy and whipped the young bears into frenzy. Roar, said the sister. Grr, said the brother bear. I do not understand you bears, said the robot. Roz was about to unload the whole armful of annoying pine cones when a distant roar and through forest. Back at the cave, the mother bear was calling for these two, and she did not sound happy. The younger bears looked at each other. They knew they were in trouble. But before lumbering home, they glared up at Roz and snorted one last time. More than anything, they wanted to kill the robot. Chapter 16 The Pine Tree. Roz was in no hurry to leave the tree. She stayed on her branch long after the bears had gone, enjoying some peace and looking herself over. In addition to claw marks, the robot was also covered in dirt, which of course meant it was time for another cleaning. She was making good progress when she felt something sticky on her arm. The problem with sticky resins will find you. It always does. Anna found Roz. The robot scraped at the resin. And soon, her fingers were completely coated in the sticky torso, and things were about to get even messier. A robin swooped into the tree and began stretching and fluttering around Roz. The bird had recently finished building herself for a new nest. It was a little work of art. A basket and from grass and twigs and feathers, and a wall is right above the robot's head. Screech, said the robin. I do not understand you, Robin, said the robot. The rabbit continued, stretching and fluttering, and then she splattered her droppings across the robot's face. This bird was serious, so Roz scooted further out until she heard a quick, sharp crack. Before Roz knew what was happening, the tree branch snapped under her willow, and she went crashing to the forest floor. She hit the ground, and later, as broken branches and needles shot down on top of her, there was another splat, and then quietly returned to the forest. Chapter 17. The Camouflage Ink. Roz was a mess. She lay under the tree, covered in a heap of broken branches and pine cones and needles. She still hadn't removed the sticky resin from her body. And then there were the birds dropping. She was about to get up and give herself a rigorous cleaning when she noticed a peculiar twig. The twig was moving. It was crawling along one of the broken branches on the ground. With a gentle touch, the robot picked up the twig. Hello, stick insect. My name is Ross. You are very well camouflaged. The stick insect's body was a long and thin. He had the same shapes and colors and made markings as a real twig. But if you look closely, you just might see two tiny eyes and two spindly antennae. The insect didn't make a sound, and he sat perfectly still, as still the robot. The two of them sat still and silently stared at each other for a while. Thank you, stick, sir, said the Ross. She placed him back where she found him. You taught me an important lesson. I can see how camouflage helps you survive. Perhaps it could help me survive also. 42. Chapter 18. The Camouflage Robot. As you know, reader, Roz have always liked to keep herself as clean as possible, but her desire to stay alive was stronger than her desire to stay clean. And our robot decided it was time she got dirty. Roz was going to camouflage herself. She had gotten to the idea from the stick insert, but Roz quickly realized that camouflaging herself twig was out of the question. No, though, the robot would have to blend into the landscape itself. She began by smearing handful of thick mud over her entire body. Then she plucked birds and grasses from the ground and sank their roots into her new body coating. She placed colorful flowers around her face to disguise her glowing eyes, and any bark patches were covered to tree leaves and strips of moss. Our robot is now looked like a great tuft of land. Walking through the forest, she waited for darkness, and then she passed to the center of a clearing and nestled herself between some rocks and became part of the landscape. A few hours later, the sky was brightening. The fog was lifting. The nightmare animals were slinking home, and the daytime animals were beginning to stir. It was just an ordinary morning on the island. However, there was that new tuft of plants in that one forest clearing. Only the bees had noticed the tuft. They buzzed around and, completely unaware that the robot was hidden beneath. And so Ross sat there, right in the open yet completely unseen, and observed the wildness around her. She watched the flowers slowly turn toward the sun. She listened to the rain falling through the reeds. She smelled the moist pine air. She felt worms wiggle in her muddy sides. A week later, the tuft of plants was gone, but there was new clump of seaweed on the shore. A week after that, the clump of seaweed was gone, but there was a new bramble on the mountain. Then there was a new log on the riverbank. Then a new rock in the forest. Chapter 19, The Observations. Clouds stretched through the sky, spiders spinning webs, bears beckoned to hungry mouths, frogs stalked herds, mushrooms rose up from leaf litter, turtles plopped into ponds, moss spread across tree roots, vultures hunched over carcasses, ocean waves began their last song. Tadpoles became frogs, caterpillars became butterflies. A camouflage robot was observed at it all. We're going to stop there. Chapter 20. Like, subscribe, turn on your notifications.